Hey there guys, Nordic Warrior here, back with another, I guess you could call this a gossip video of sorts. Just another spur of the moment type of video where I basically talk about whatever's on my mind. So, no doubt some of you have probably heard that the very popular Christian apologist YouTuber David Wood AKA Acts17Apologetics announced a couple of months back that he was going to delete his YouTube channel. Predictably, this isn't what happened, and he did a U-turn and then said that he's no longer going to delete the channel, and instead he's going to remove the content and put it all behind a paywall. So basically you have to pay now to access his content, and he's going to give his channel away, aka sell the channel, to someone who's no doubt going to run it into the ground. Where have I heard that before? So let's talk about it. So for those of you who don't know, I have actually been a subscriber of his for quite a while. In fact, several years I've been subscribed to David Wood. And I found his channel a very long time ago, and he's one of these YouTubers who I would watch from time to time. And I'm not going to lie, I'll be honest about it, he has made some very, very good content over the years. Some of his videos I found very thought-provoking, particularly the ones he made several years ago. But he was always one of those guys who I found to be fine in small doses. There was always something about him, and about his content in general, that troubled me. I think the thing that troubled me the most was the fact that he was one of these guys who tended to contradict himself quite a lot. And despite labelling himself a Christian, his overall demeanour and the way he went about his work and just the overall vibe I got from his content, it always seemed very ungenuine to me, if that's even a word. He actually reminded me of an atheist. And one of the things that kind of amplified my concerns was that if you look at his content in general, the vast majority of it had nothing whatsoever to do with Christianity. Rather, the vast majority of the things that he would talk about on his channel and on any of his social media platforms was to do with Islam. And when you look at the comment sections of his videos, the vast majority of the impact that David Wood seemed to have was turning Muslims into atheists. And that particular outcome seemed to really please him. Another thing that always put me off about David Wood was just his overall pretense. He's one of these people who likes to depict himself in a certain way. He likes to portray himself as a certain type of person. You know, I'm an edgy, soulless psychopath who doesn't feel emotions, and I don't care about anybody, and I don't care about money or anybody or anything except myself. Basically, I don't care about anybody but myself. I'm a psycho, right? I'm crazy. Oh, look at me. I'm such an edgelord. You know, that was the kind of persona that he created for himself. Then in the very same video, he'd be like, donate money to me because my crippled children need a new wheelchair and my brother is dying, please give me money, and that type of thing. And just the more and more I heard him speak over the years, the more and more I got the impression that he was a grifter, like so many others in this community. This was basically confirmed to me when the whole adpocalypse came around and shadow banning started happening to many channels, including mine by the way, as well as many others. And channels started to get demonetized and hit with false strikes and all that kind of stuff. And when all that happened, the general quality of David's videos started to seriously decline. And he started e-begging more and more, making more gimmicky clickbait type videos, and more he just started to show his true colours. What I started to notice about David too was that despite him supposedly being a Christian apologist, there was really nothing he had to offer that you couldn't get from Sam Harris or any other atheist philosopher of his kind. I mean, we get it, David. Islam is bad. How much more can you really do with that? And how much content can you really offer that isn't Islam related? You know what I mean? So why am I talking about this? Why do I care? Well, The news that he was going to be deleting, in quotations, deleting his channel, really selling it off, and putting all his content behind a paywall, actually reminded me of something. It reminded me of a very similar story involving another popular YouTuber that I used to watch years ago. It reminded me of Classic Game Room. Now, if any of you guys are familiar with Classic Game Room, it was a popular video game review channel on YouTube, hosted by a guy called Mark Buzzler, that originated as a gaming website back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and when YouTube came around, Classic Game Room really took off. In fact, if you guys want to see a very interesting documentary on Classic Game Room, I would recommend the video titled Classic Game Room Retrospective from a guy called Xenon Cyanide. That's a very, very underrated YouTube channel. Check it out if you want to. Basically, what happened with Classic Game Room, very long story short, because, I mean, there was a lot to it, but basically, long story short, he basically sabotaged his own channel, stopped posting content, and hid everything behind a paywall. And the reason why he did all that was, basically, when YouTube's algorithm and their whole ad revenue situation changed, Mark Buzzler got very pissed off with it. And it really showed his true colours because, again, he showed that he didn't give a crap about his audience. He tried to get his audience to follow him to other platforms and leave YouTube, whereas it was YouTube that they found him on and stuff like that. And he sabotaged his own channel, sabotaged his content, screwed over all his viewers, and as a result of it, it really backfired on him. He basically lost the vast majority of his audience as a result of it, and he went completely into obscurity. The reason I'm bringing that up is because I see a very similar situation with this and what's about to happen to David Wood. You see, the thing about Mark Buzzler and Classic Game Room is that the guy was always a grifter. It was always about making money, selling merch, as well as capitalizing on popular trends to get as much interaction as possible. What led to Classic Game Room's destruction was pure greed and nothing more. Since David Wood got demonetized, and since he was no longer getting hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from ad revenue, as I mentioned before, he had to up his e-begging a little bit and really started to show his true colours. You know, he started to take on sponsors, something that he had previously claimed he was strongly against. Since things on YouTube are simply no longer profitable for him, he's been searching a long time to try and get an alternative platform. He's been looking for alternative sites to grift on. He tried Rumble, and that failed miserably because that site is just controlled opposition garbage, just like YouTube was. And he basically decided, you know what, screw my audience, screw the platform that is the very reason for his success. Want to watch my garbage content now? You have to come to my website and pay for it. Yeah, good luck with that, David. Good luck. Why am I talking about this? Why do I care? Well, to be honest, guys, one of the things I really had to learn over the years, and it's something that I hope more people learn going forward, is to stop relying on these social media influencers and stop putting so much stock into them. This is particularly important when it comes to the whole Christian truther community, or the truther community in general. When these so-called truthers get so big, it gets to the point where it's no longer about waking people up or providing entertaining content or even just interacting with their audience. You basically just become a number to these people. And I think the best thing to do is always to remember that these people are human, they're all fallible, and they really could care less about us. If it means they have nothing to gain from us, then they think to themselves, what is even the point in entertaining us or providing us anything? At least that's how I see it at the moment. And another thing we really need to stop is we really need to stop supporting these opportunistic grifters who have no real solutions to offer and generally make pretty shallow and predictable content, and support people who at least have something to actually offer us. those are just my thoughts on it anyway. I found this topic pretty interesting, and again, like I said, I was a long-time subscriber of David Wood's channel, and I genuinely did enjoy some of his content, but given how his channel ended up, and looking at the way he basically shafted his audience and showed his true colours, I think it's pretty clear at this point that he was more than likely always a grifter. So that's all I've got to say. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. God bless.